Hey, it's meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen with a look at your forecast for today and the days beyond. Today's going to be a hot one. Lots of clear blue skies out there helping the temperatures get up to the middle to low 90s for the front range today. Very little chance of precipitation, although there will be a little bit of a convergence of warm, moist air from the east colliding with some dry air coming over the mountains. So we will get some thunderstorms today, but those will most likely all be to the east of the Denver area and the Front Range. Let's take a look outside to see what those skies look like right now. Still clear blue skies, nothing but sunshine out there right now. No clouds trying to develop just at the moment, especially when you look towards the west, towards the mountains, nothing but blue skies, and that'll certainly help those temperatures get up there into the 90s fairly easily today. We're already at 79 degrees at Denver International Airport, 78 degrees at the 9 News Studios in South downtown Mile High City. Dew point still pretty high up there, so those there is some moisture in the air, which will help regulate the temperatures just a little bit, but that will dry out as we go through the day, at least on the Front Range. So we're not looking at too much probability for storms, although if we do get one in our area, those dew points will help it become a little bit stronger. The problem is there's not a lot of instability or lift available to get those storms going until we get a convergence of, like I said, it was a kind of a dry line set up today, so that will most likely all be to the east. Here's the forecast timeline for Denver, getting up to about 90 degrees just before 3 o'clock today, reaching a high temperature of about 93 degrees today, so that will be the first 90-degree day of July. And the sunshine will be there throughout the day. We'll maybe just cloud up just a little bit. Try to get a little precipitation going in the Front Range, but just about 10% chance for anyone along the Front Range to get measurable precipitation out of any of these storms today. So most likely going to stay dry for all of us on the Front Range. Here's a look at the satellite and radar picture. You see some moisture still streaming up from the southwest. Then over the overnight hours, there were some areas in eastern Colorado that got hit pretty hard by some thunderstorms. The Highway 50 corridor in the Arkansas Valley, right around the La Junta area, had some really impactful thunderstorms overnight, causing some damage with some large hail and some strong winds. That was in the La Junta area, and you see those storms starting to move off, and the storms that are just starting to move out of the northeastern part of Colorado, just through Yuma County right there, those are starting to move out and dissipate as well. So we'll wait for the afternoon showers to start to fire up now. You can see a few out there in southwest Colorado, but the most impact for the thunderstorms this afternoon is going to be in the northeast part of the state, right where those storms are just exiting the state right now. We'll get a brief break before some more storms start to fire. We're looking at a level 1 and a level 2 severe thunderstorm risk for eastern Colorado today. Denver and the Front Range is not included in this. And in fact, we'll probably stay mostly dry along the Front Range today. And if we do get a small storm going, it will barely even produce any measurable precipitation for us. So it's all this story out on the eastern plains, especially that area in the yellow where we have a level 2 risk. And the level 2 risk does not mean, it's called slight, which is kind of inappropriately named in my opinion. It doesn't mean that there's a slight chance that you'll get a severe storm. It means that they will be scattered in nature. So more isolated if it's a level 1, scattered if it's a level 2, and then we go into the higher ranges when there's more people that are going to be impacted by these severe storms. But they could certainly be very powerful today with baseball-size hail, wind gusts of 70 miles per hour or stronger, and also supercell tornadoes are a possibility, and of course land spouts, which are pretty much possible Every single day there is a thunderstorm in Colorado between the months of April and October. So landspout season is pretty much just any day. But today we could see those supercell thunderstorms. Here's the forecast model looking at the futurecast, and we back that up just a little bit to see initiation time. So it's really these storms are the ones that are kind of exiting the state, and then the second round here starting at about noon, 12:30 or so this afternoon, and they will start to gradually build and extend, kind of forming a line of storms from the northeast corner all the way down to the bottom of the state. And you can see here focusing on the areas north of I-70. And you can see those are some really strong storms. So we'll see at least 1, 2, maybe 3 really powerful supercell thunderstorms move through the area this afternoon. And these are all going to have the potential to create some very big impacts as far as large hail and damaging winds, and tornadoes are certainly a possibility today. There is enough helicity and vorticity and wind shear in the atmosphere to be able to create some short-lived strong tornadoes out there. But one thing you could also notice is how fast this energy moves across the state. Here we are at 4:30. Still a pretty strong storm out there just along the Kansas state line, but they move through and could be pretty much out of there by about 6 o'clock. And then we just watch for some outflow boundaries to come through. We actually had one outflow boundary drift through the Denver metro area very late last night, just about before midnight, and that actually sparked up a couple of rain showers, not too impactful, a couple hundredths of an inch of rain in a few areas. But we don't see any hint of any outflow boundaries just yet on the high resolution computer modeling, but we know those storms will be pretty impactful out there on the eastern plains, and so we'll look and see if any of those boundaries float back towards the Denver metro area later tonight. And that'll be something to just kind of keep an eye on as those storms move through the eastern plains. As far as your 4th of July, right after those storms go through, we'll look for a 4th of July cold front. Well, it's really a cool front when you're talking about cold fronts in the hotter part of summer when they move through. So a cool front, we'll call it, coming through. Let's look at the timing here on the cold front tracker, moving through Fort Collins maybe before midnight, and then sweeping through the Denver area a little after midnight. And that'll have some cool air just kind of fill in behind that front. So that is going to make things pretty comfortable for our 4th of July, which is something that hasn't happened in a few years. It seems like all our 4th of Julys have either been upper 90s or filled with some potential for some severe weather, and we'll have neither of those impacts for our 4th of July. So here's your Independence Day forecast high temperatures. That, thanks to that cold front that'll move through just after midnight, our temperatures might not even make it to 85 degrees. So, I mean, that's still warm, but comparatively, what we've seen, that's a pretty cool day. So that's a good impact for us along the Front Range, especially with all those outdoor activities. And we'll also, let's look at the computer forecast model, because it'll also kind of stabilize most of our air, and we won't be able to see too many thunderstorms, certainly not an impactful thunderstorm, and maybe not even any rain showers in the Denver metro area. We'll look on the northern Front Range. Here you see the computer forecast model for tomorrow, showing a couple of strong storms up there towards the north in between the Fort Collins, Cheyenne, Greeley triangle there, maybe just outside of Sterling we could get a strong storm. But the Denver metro area and most of the Front Range stays pretty clear all the way through 2 o'clock, and we'll go a little bit further, see a little bit of cloud cover start to fill in there in the Denver area about 4 o'clock. Maybe a thunderstorm starts to form on the Palmer Divide about that time, as the northern area, right along the the Wyoming and Nebraska Panhandle line there. We could see a few of those storms start to impact your area. But then by about, that's going to use the daytime heating to kind of fuel those with the cool air up above us. But once the sun starts to set and we get that lower sun angle, and certainly at sunset when we're looking for those fireworks to go off, we'll probably be able to get rid of all those lightning bolts, so no fireworks from Mother Nature to coincide with our fireworks on the ground that we put up for our celebrations. So here's the jet stream forecast looking a little bit further ahead. You see the little dip in the middle of the country there with the yellows and the oranges, the lighter orange colors. That's just a little bit of a summer trough there that's kind of moving through the area, and that is going to be what's responsible for the cold front tonight, and another one on Thursday morning, and then another one by the weekend, which will probably be the more impactful front. Probably Saturday night into Sunday we're looking at that, and that might be the only chance for any really widespread measurable precipitation on the Front Range for the next 14 days. Because if you look behind that, what's coming is a very large area of strong high pressure, and that will just propagate towards the east, move right across Colorado. So once we get past that weekend cold front, we're probably looking at about 6 or 7 days in the middle, at least the middle 90s here, with very little precipitation chances in the Denver area. So a big dry stretch here. The cold fronts will keep us cool this week, but then next week is going to be super hot. So look at the 7-day forecast here. You can see all that information kind of laid out on a nice little grid here, kind of like your smartphone app. So those cold fronts Thursday, Friday, and Sunday will generally keep the temperatures below 90. We may spike up to 90 on Saturday, just briefly, but we won't look for the really hot temperatures to start coming our way until Tuesday. You already see Tuesday and Wednesday out there on this 7-day forecast, and that heat is going to extend for another 3 to 4 days after that. So that gives you some good information for your planning for 4th of July and the weekend to come and the hot week ahead. So thank you for watching and have a great day.